So I've been seeing some comments about how my content is boring because it's just ramen, steak, and spring rolls. And I mean, they're not completely wrong, but it gave me an idea. So in today's video, I'm going to be making a ramen and steak spring roll. I'm using the Samyang hot chicken noodles and just cooking up a simple ribeye with some salt and pepper. I seared each side for 1.5 minutes and then basted each side for 1 minute with butter. I think I'm getting a little better at figuring out how long to cook a steak by looking at it, so I'm pretty proud of that. I wet my rice paper in warm water and added some greens, the noodles, steak, pickled carrots and garlic, and a chili pepper for good luck. Then the fun part, the rolling. I used 2 hands because I didn't want to risk ripping this beauty. I mean, look at it. It's almost too pretty to eat, but I guess I gotta take one for the team and eat it. And then because I could, I made another one but added an egg because why not? And it was delicious. Also, I wanted to take the time to thank you all for watching my videos. 1.5 million subscribers and I'm still making ramen, steak, and spring roll content. So thank you for continuing to watch. I don't have much experience with cooking salmon, so I want to try more dishes with it. Also, I didn't know you were supposed to cook it skin side down first until after my live a few days ago, so if you're going to be offended that I cooked this meat side down first, you should probably go to the next video. My roommate bought some potatoes that she was going to cook but decided not to, so she told me to do whatever I wanted to them. I just added olive oil and salt and put them in the oven for 10 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I chopped up cilantro and garlic for the sauce. I flipped the potatoes, and don't be lazy like me, use tongs or something else besides your hands. I put them back in for another 10 minutes. I pat the salmon dry and added some salt and pepper to both sides. Then I made a glaze of honey, soy sauce, mirin, and sriracha. In a pan, I heated up some olive oil, garlic, chopped red onions that I need to get rid of, paprika, cilantro, and black pepper. Then I just tossed in the potatoes. I cooked the salmon for 3 minutes on each side. It did stick on the initial flip, so I either had the pan too hot or I didn't wait long enough. I also basted it in some butter. For a final touch, I added some toasted sesame seeds, and I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It was nice and juicy, flavor was good. Definitely need to work on getting the skin crispy though. I mentioned before that I eat a lot of food when I go to my parents', and last weekend I stayed overnight, so I thought I'd record everything I ate. My brother grilled up some steak and the propane ran out. That's why the steak doesn't have the best grill marks. He just wanted me to let you all know that. Then we also had lobster, coconut juice from a coconut that my brother questionably cut open. Next I had bun kadon, which is a thick noodle soup made with pork broth. Then I had goikga that my mom made, which are fish spring rolls. It's a mixture of fish, ginger, lemon juice, chili pepper, and other stuff. And this here is one of my favorite Vietnamese dishes. My auntie made these and they're called bun boklap, which are chewy tapioca dumplings filled with pork and shrimp. Then that night we cooked some fish over a fire. Don't tell my family, but I tried flipping the fish and almost ruined everything. The next morning my mom made a quick beef stir fry for breakfast. Then we had gak and chua, which is a fish sour soup. It has a bunch of stuff like okra, tomatoes, fish, shrimp, and elephant ear plant. We also had some pan-fried yellowtail and pork belly with fish sauce. People always ask me how I became a foodie, and this is a big reason why. I got to grow up eating food like this, and food is slowly becoming my love language. I recently saw my friend Janelle post a video of her trying banana dipped in soy sauce and she liked it, so I wanted to give it a try myself. I love bananas and I love soy sauce, so what could go wrong? I just peeled the banana and sliced it up. Janelle said to try it with a little soy sauce and then a lot to see which one was better. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing either. There were subtle hints of the banana trying to overpower the saltiness of the soy sauce. Next I tried it with a lot of soy sauce, and I'd say I like this one more, but it still wasn't hitting the spot for me. I decided to add some chili garlic sauce because this is a simple mix I make all the time to dip other things in. And 10 out of 10, I would not recommend doing that. Overall, banana with soy sauce was good, but I probably won't combine them again. Every time I go over to my parents' house, they act like I don't ever eat anything. They always cook a bunch of food and have my favorite snacks on hand, like this name. I'm not complaining, by the way. I've learned that this is my parents' love language. We don't say I love you. It actually makes me uncomfortable to say it to anyone unless it's my nieces and nephews, but the love is definitely translated in the food. The first thing they always ask if we talk on the phone or if we see each other in person is if I've eaten anything yet that day. On this visit, they made me some beer steamed seafood, chicken salad, tuna and salmon served sashimi style, and of course some beef pho. What's your parents' love language? I ordered some Indian dishes that I've never had before from a restaurant called Passage to India in Wichita, Kansas. I've got the shrimp biryani, basmati rice, chicken dahiwala, and the bangan bharta. I also got palak pakora, which is fried chickpeas patty made with spinach and spices. I'm not sure what I was dipping it in, but it had a nice kick to it. These were very addicting, and although they were fried, they were still very refreshing. I went after the chicken dahiwala first, and no joke, I was blown away by the flavors. I ordered medium spice so my roommate could try it as well. Next up, I had the bangin bartha, which is a puree of baked eggplant sauteed with onion and peas and tomatoes. This dish had many different textures in it inside the creamy sauce, and I've had chicken biryani, but I've never had shrimp, so I thought this would be interesting. It's definitely another winner. I can't pick a favorite because I loved everything, and even mixing in some of them together created more winners. And I had the mango lassi last, which I'm not sure if that was correct to drink at the end or if I was supposed to drink it during. Trying all this food is definitely helping me narrow down what Indian dish I want to try cooking first. I missed the whole boba ice cream craze that went on last year. I tried looking for them a couple of times, but they were sold out. I did get the chance to try one a few months ago, but it was a different brand from this one. I keep passing out the Asian grocery store, and I finally decided to toss it into my cart. I also got a fish waffle one that looked really interesting. I tried the regular brown sugar boba one first, and props to the company for accurately representing the ice cream. Okay, so I totally get why people went crazy over these now. It was decadent, smooth, and getting the little bursts of chewy boba in there was amazing. I think I'm in love, and I'm wondering where this ice cream has been all my life. We better move on to the fish waffle one before I eat all of these. Look at how cute it is though, almost too cute to eat. I didn't know where to take a bite first because I felt like it was a sacred moment. This stuff is also delicious, but it didn't have the boba in it. I prefer the first one, but still like this one. The texture difference between the waffle and the ice cream was nice, and because I could, I decided to add some hot, just kidding, but I did add a cherry to it because why not? Last month, my sister-in-law sent me a video of my nephew eating one of his sandwich creations. It was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with an interesting addition: pepperoni. Apparently he liked it, so I wanted to give it a try. I applied peanut butter and grape jelly to the bread and then started the task of adding in the pepperoni. I was getting weird looks from the pets in the house, or it could have just been that they wanted some pepperoni. At first I was just going to add one layer of it, but then I decided to add another because it just felt right. And you know what? It actually wasn't that bad. It was like a slightly salty peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Although there were a few other factors, like I was really hungry, the bread was also the softest bread I've ever eaten, and the peanut butter was on point. Now, would I ever make this for anyone? Probably not unless you're my nephew, but if I had all these ingredients and I needed to use them before they went bad, then yes, I would make this again. Would you try it? I was recently asked if I like salads, and the answer is yes, but only if someone else makes it. My salads just suck, unlike this Greek salad with grilled salmon that I ordered. Just the idea of buying all these ingredients and putting it in a salad seems daunting to me. But if I could ever figure out how to do it, I could eat this salad every day. By the way, my roommate is trying to eat healthier, and she's getting kind of sick of celery and peanut butter. She asked me to ask y'all what are some healthy snack suggestions. I'll scroll through the comments to find 3 options to pick, and I'll have her create and taste test them. So send me your best ones. I have leftover consomme, birria baked potato, and a steak, so I'm going to try braising the steak in the consomme to see what happens. I'm just seasoning the steak with some salt and pepper and searing it for about a minute on each side. Then I'm placing it in the consomme bath and gave it a little pat for good luck. I cooked it in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I also put the La Papa Tito in the oven as well to reheat that. After 6 minutes, I pulled them both out and let the steak rest for 8 minutes. The steak turned out to be a good rare to medium rare. I definitely could have worked on my plating skills, but I couldn't wait to try this. I ladled some of the consomme over the top of the steak and baked potato and added pickled red onion. Then I started my journey of creating the ultimate bite. I cut the steak, added baked potato, some of the birria meat, and pickled red onion. This was so good that I couldn't sit down. I ate the rest of this meal while I was standing. Would you try this? When I saw Fert the foodie post this pic of this birria baked potato, I knew I needed to go try it ASAP. So I jumped in my car and went to okay, so I just learned how to barely say birria, so please don't come at me for mispronouncing this, but I went to Birria Tito, and the name of this masterpiece is called La Papa Tito. I mean, look at this beauty. I also had to get some birria tacos and a barbacoa one. I couldn't wait, so I ate one of the tacos first. I added some lime to their consomme and dipped the bad boy in. Words cannot explain how happy I was to put this in my mouth. I took the foil off the potato so I could dig in wholeheartedly, and then I went in for my first bite. And I was not expecting the cheese, but oh, I was so thankful for it. Then I poured the consomme over the top of the potato because why not? I think this has ruined me for all other baked potatoes, and then I added some tapatio for a little kick, and it hit the spot. I'm so glad I saw Fert the foodie's post. I will most definitely be trying this again. Today I am trying the McDonald's BTS meal, which consists of chicken nuggets, fries, a drink, and they've introduced 2 new flavors of sauces. One of my guilty pleasures in college were chicken nuggets, even though they're very unhealthy. I don't eat them as much anymore, but I am excited to try these new sauces, which is Cajun and sweet chili. I tried the sweet chili first and I was surprised that it actually had a kick to it. I'd say it's similar to the spice level of sriracha. It was sweet, tangy, and spicy, and I enjoyed it. Now the Cajun sauce was interesting. There was really nothing Cajun-y about it. It reminded me of a honey mustard. Overall, I like the sweet chili sauce more, and kudos to McDonald's and BTS for this great marketing collab.
Hi, I'm Newton.
And I'm Newton's mom. Lisa lost her voice, so she asked me if I could do this voiceover. This video is from a few months ago when she made spicy noodles with Spam and eggs for us. She forgot her tripod on this visit, so this is actually me holding the camera here while she expertly cracks the eggs. She wanted me to say that she added the eggs because she could. She added the noodles to the boiling water and cooked the Spam like a boss. She drained most of the water from the noodles and added the hot sauce packets.
Mix, mix, mix.
Then she split everything between 3 bowls because she was meal prepping for the next day. Just kidding. She made us a bowl to eat, and that's basically it. Thank you everyone for listening.
Did a good job, Auntie Lisa.
I've been holding on to this video for a while now because I didn't really like how these air fryer avocado fries turned out. For the flour mix, I combined flour, paprika, chili powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Then I made a mix of panko and breadcrumbs. Also, I forgot until I started editing this video that I let the avocado get too ripe, so I had to leave and go to the grocery store to buy another one. Oh, the memories are flooding back. And then on the new avocado, I didn't stab the pit hard enough, so that was a whole ordeal trying to get it out. I don't even remember how I got it out, but I guess I didn't film that part. My phone must have blacked out like I did. I cut the avocado and dipped it into the flour mixture first, the egg, and then the breadcrumbs. I'm pretty sure the flour was useless at this point. Then I set it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes in the air fryer. For the dipping sauce, I mixed ranch and sriracha. I didn't think they were ready after 5 minutes, so I added an additional 2, and they still didn't look ready, so I added another 2. Now that I'm editing this video, I know where I went wrong. The avocado wasn't ripe enough, and that's why I was getting the bitter flavor that overtook everything else. What a wild ride. Now I remember why I put off editing this video. A lot of people have been asking me if I bake, and I actually don't, but my roommate does. This is from last year when she made cookie butter chocolate chip bread. All I remember is that it had a lot of sugar and it tasted really good. I'm mostly intimidated by baking because of all the ingredients that go into it, and I'm scared of the fact that you can't undo a baking mistake. Back in middle school for my home ec class, I had to bake muffins at home and have my parents grade it. I put the muffins in the oven, and about 10 minutes in I realized I forgot the baking powder. So I thought it would be a good idea to open up the oven and add a little bit to the middle of each one. Needless to say, that was not a good idea. My parents gave me like a 3 out of 10, plus my dad docked a point because I made a mess in the kitchen. Which, I mean, I probably deserved the low score, but I was so offended, and thinking back, maybe this is the reason I don't like baking. So some of you have mentioned that it's possible to make soupy Maggi noodles, so I wanted to give it a try. I added the seasoning packet to some water and brought it to a boil. Some of you have suggested to not break it into quarters, but just break it in half. I added some fish cakes, dried Thai chili flakes, pepper, and dried oregano. Then I chopped up some garlic and kimchi and added that to the mix. And last but not least, I added some leftover black garlic steak from yesterday's video. Oh, and I topped it off with some chopped cilantro. I tasted the broth and this was a winner. The right amount of heat to the savoriness of the broth, and the noodles absorbed the seasoning really well. Would you try this? During my last trip to Kansas City, my friends at Taco Naka gave me some black garlic that they made. I've never tried it before, but she mentioned it would be good on steak, so naturally I decided to make compound butter. I added a stick of butter, parsley, salt, and dried thyme. I cut into the garlic and was really surprised by the consistency. It was paste-like and almost as soft as the butter. Then I just went to the process of squeezing them all out. I used one whole bowl. I mixed it all up and did an absolutely horrible job at wrapping it. It only takes a few hours to harden up in the fridge, but I left it there for a couple of days until I was ready to cook the steak. I just seasoned it with some salt and pepper on both sides, and I'm really sad because I left my cast iron skillet in Kansas City the last time I was there, so I'm using a non-stick pan. Definitely not the best sear, but it does the job. I cut up the compound butter. It was looking interesting. I'm glad there were big bits of black garlic in it. I had the pan on medium-high heat, but dropped it to medium once I added the compound butter so it wouldn't burn. So on my compound butter journey, I made 3 different types so far, and this is by far my favorite one. Black garlic added a unique, funky taste to it, almost salty, but also really creamy. 11 out of 10, I would try this again. Today I'm making Maggi noodles for the first time. This is highly requested and I was very curious to see how they would taste. I'm going to cook the noodles exactly per the instructions on the packaging so I can see how they taste and figure out what I should try adding in the future. So it says to bring 7 ounces of water to a boil and to add the spice mix packet. I forgot to add the seasoning until after adding the noodles, which I broke into 4 parts. And then I set a timer for 2 minutes. So the smell that was coming from the seasoning was very unique. It kind of smelled like curry, but I don't want to say that because it probably isn't. Texture-wise, the noodles were dry but a little saucy at the same time. Taste-wise, it's like a flavor bomb went off in my mouth. I'm so unfamiliar with the spices, but hopefully I'll get the chance to learn more. I have to admit it was a little salty, but it's already giving me a lot of ideas of toppings or add-ins that I can incorporate into it. I'd love to get some ideas from you all as well, so please comment down below with how you make these noodles. In today's video, I'm making Lebanese spicy potatoes. I got this recipe from Feel Good Foodie. Her video will be linked below. This was very easy to make and it turned out so good. So I cut up 7 potatoes and then rinsed them off. Then I dried them with a clean kitchen towel. I added olive oil, salt, and mixed it all up together. Then I popped it into the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to make the sauce to pour over the potatoes. Add olive oil to a hot pan with 3 to 4 minced garlic cloves. In Feel Good Foodie's recipe, she used red pepper flakes. I'm going to substitute it with dry Thai chili flakes that I tried in my spicy noodle challenge. Then I'm tossing in a handful of chopped cilantro. Pull the potatoes out around 15 minutes and make sure to flip them over, then put them back in for another 15 minutes. While they're still hot, pour the sauce over the top and mix it up real good. I added a little more cilantro and squeezed lemon juice over the top. I was going to add more chili flakes, but I wanted my roommate to try them, and when I took a bite of one of them, it already had quite a bit of heat. I couldn't stop eating these. I kept saying, okay, one more, just one more, but it just kept happening. Thanks Feel Good Foodie for sharing this amazing recipe. So a few days ago, my neighbor texted me asking if I wanted Brazilian stroganoff that he cooked, and of course I had to say yes.
White rice, shrimp, mushrooms, a little bit of butter, parsley, a lot of garlic, onions, kind of like heavy milk, mustard, tomato paste, and these potato sticks on. If you mix them all together.
Thanks.
Yep.
So I assembled everything together, starting with the rice, stroganoff, and topping it off with the potato sticks. It was smelling delicious. I took a big bite and I instantly fell in love with this dish. It was creamy and savory and the shrimp and mushrooms were cooked perfectly, and then paired with the potato sticks, the texture all complemented each other really well. I hope he cooks this again because I could eat a whole pot.
Feeding my neighbor Sport 5. Day 1, bacon wrapped hot dogs. Day 2, takeout fried rice and spicy wontons. Day 3, Naruto ramen. They gave me Brazilian beer to try. Day 4, fettuccine chicken Alfredo. Yes, I just gave it to them in the pan. They made Brazilian stroganoff for me to try. The end.